I guess I'll be good.
Yeah, I'm good. I sent the tweet out.
Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to post stuff, but apparently it's wanting to be finicky, so I won't do anything but just look at you.
Nice. I just checked the feed, too. You sound good, so we don't have the same problem.
Not good.
And, of course, as soon as we start, I start getting text messages.
Make sure I retweet stuff from the right place. Copy that. At least I can do it all from my phone.
I'm sure anybody watching the archive of this is excited. Because this is all at the beginning and we can't trim it off.
We can give exciting stuff, but then we can get it behind the scenes.
You person watching this on YouTube, skip forward a 30, 40 minute and a half.
Just ignore us.
Ignore this part.
This
We
is the
didn't mean to
boring
go
stuff.
live, but we're live. Someone watching us live, hang out. We're going in a second. We have a viewer, so
Already?
yeah, we're time out.
Hi!
We started a second or two too early. Give us a minute. We're getting ready to roll. Thanks for hanging out, watching the show.
Although I do want to say, if I sound funny, tell us.
I checked. You sounded good to me, so we don't
Okay,
have a Dalek issue like last time.
It'd been alright if it was on purpose.
Right. If we had known, we could have worked towards it. We just fixed it where every answer you said was exterminate, and it would have went well.
Yeah.
Those people that I told to skip ahead 30 seconds to a minute, go another minute. That way. Please.
No, you know there could be one, like, technical guru sitting there taking notes, be like, alright, let's see what they're doing. Oh.
That's fine.
Can't see my hub to plug this into. So in that case, I need to turn it on.
What was that? Your stuff's going crazy. You're breaking stuff.
Yeah, I know. Say it's my TARDIS hub.
All right, look, we got multiple people viewing. We're going to have to go ahead and just go.
Hi. Alright.
All right, here we go. And and welcome to the newest edition of Police Box Paradox, episode 2, where we will be talking about Asylum of the Dalek, or Daleks. Was it plural? I don't remember if it was plural.
We'll go with plural since
because the details matter. I'm Wes. I'm here with Michael, and we have other people that may join in as we go. We're just kind of getting things started a little later than we wanted to. A few technical difficulties that we're working through. If you listen to episode 1 where we kind of did the introduction, depending on when you heard it, you either heard Michael with a Dalek voice, or when I went back in and did some magic and made it a little less Dalek-y, but it was still funky. So hopefully the audio is good right now when you're checking this out. We got some people watching live. We're doing this on Google Hangout. You can check us out anytime when we're doing stuff like this because we're recording live. You can join in, view, watch, everything. But for now, we're just kind of talking and getting ready to go. We just got done watching the first episode of Series 7, Asylum of the Daleks, and I don't know where to start. Michael, how did you feel about the episode as a whole? Let's start broad and then move down. I know some of the Doctor Who podcasts I listen to, they like to go through and just like basically retell what happened in the episode. You watch the episode. If you're listening to this, you've watched the episode. We don't need to retell you what happened.
Okay, yes. And let's just say right off the bat, if you've not watched the episode, you're going to get spoiled. Sorry.
Yeah. The way we work is everything up until the end of that episode, and technically what was in the coming soon trailer for next week. We're talking about all that and anything that happened before. So if you're not wanting to know anything, too bad.
So if you're anti-spoiler and you've not watched it yet,
it's going to get spoiled. Come back later.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? Well, I mean, you watched it earlier in the day. I just got done watching the episode minutes before we started this process, so several hours ago. But now that we're live, we can pretend like I just got done seconds ago. So how did you feel about the episode overall?
Overall?
Yeah.
I was happy. I'm trying to space out. No, I'm trying to space out my comments.
I was happy.
I was happy. It was good.
I'll just go ahead and jump off the deep end.
I'm trying to space out my comments just a little bit.
I loved it. I was happy. Like excited happy because Moffat knows how to write for me. I don't know if he writes it's like Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon doesn't write for everybody. He writes for specific people. Well, Moffat wrote for me. I got some issues with the episode, but I'll find issues with anything. It was not the story I expected to be told at all.
No,
I had a whole different thing in my head of what we were going to get,
and that's what that was going to be one of my comments I was holding out for, not just throwing my whole load of comments out in that one question. I was amazed. I mean, you avoid spoilers. Yes. I obviously don't, but I didn't go out searching for them. I went to my normal places to look for news and everything else, and I even looked at Reddit a couple times this week and everything else. I saw nowhere that spoiled the big surprise for the episode. Nowhere.
Well, and I'm assuming by big surprise, again, you've been warned, it's coming. What was her name? Was it?
In the episode?
Yeah.
It was...
Oswin?
Oswin.
That she was a Dalek. You knew something was up the whole time because you're like, this chick... something weird's going on here, and the fact that he kept harping on where she get the milk and the eggs, you're like, okay, this is going to play in. The doctor will randomly ask things like that, but it's going to come back at some point.
You know who that is, right?
No, who
the girl is?
No,
that's the new companion. That's the same girl that's playing the new companion.
And I talked myself out of it the whole time.
No, that's the new. Now, how that works, if it's the same character or if it's going to be like a lineage thing or anything else, who knows? But it is the same character.
I spent the whole episode,
or the same actress,
right? The same actress. I spent the entire episode watching her going. They're doing the thing where they give us the girl that's not going to be the companion just to give us a companion later. And I was like, and she looks similar to the girl that's going to be playing. And here's what's messed up. We have been told we're not going to see this girl until the Christmas episode.
Yes.
And see, I didn't see that coming. And what's cool is no one else would have had to see that coming because she never interacted with anyone else on the entire episode.
And technically the doctor doesn't even know who she is.
Right. Like he's never seen her.
So who knows if they play it up that way or what? Because they've come out and said she'll come out, she won't be who anybody expects. She'll come out. Who knows? It might be one of those things where we know and he doesn't.
Okay, Kyle, my brother, has just came in. He is there. I see him. You all can probably see his crazy hair. Just to bring you up to speed, we've only been going for a few minutes here. But the thing that just got dropped on me that I was not sure of and talked myself out of, did you realize that the girl that played Oswin is the same girl that will be the new companion?
I did realize that.
How does this not come up during the viewing? How do we not talk about that? I like her. I thought she had a lot of charisma on camera.
I'm really hoping that the way they wrote her is actually how they wrote her.
Oh,
her character,
I do too.
Because she's going to go back and forth with the Doctor,
and that's what we need.
Yes.
Oh, it was so good. So
yes.
We both said. Michael said he said when I asked him how he felt about the episode, he said, "I'm happy."
I said I liked it.
I was the other end of the spectrum where I was like, "I'm so happy." So
now, of course, I'm so happy. I was just trying to hold back and not do it all at once.
So, Kyle, were you happy with the episode?
Oh, I was absolutely satisfied with it. I was actually a little bit disappointed these last few seasons we have seen so little of the Daleks. I wanted to see them back. We got them back. This new companion's going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited.
I want to see in a couple of years when they bring them back again, because eventually they will. How they're going to do that?
I'm not sure we're done with them this time, because especially with the fact that now I know in my heart that that's the girl that's going to be the companion. I think it's all going to tie back together because they stayed away from the Daleks for a while, and I think Daleks is what we need to talk about because I was just going to say it. I've never been a fan of the Daleks. Here's why.
Most people aren't.
Overall, I like the concept. The problem is they have painted themselves into a corner with it to where, I don't know, probably the best way to say it. The thing's rolling around. It looks like it has a toilet plunger on its hand. Look, I'm not trying to be mean. I like it, but I'm just saying it makes it difficult for me because they can't update them. Like the Cybermen look a little funky too. Like they need to update those. That's why this episode in particular got me excited about the Daleks, because now that we have human quote unquote Daleks,
added a different aspect to them.
We got a whole new way. Any episode we watch, somebody can be a Dalek and we don't know it until the end. And that is a whole new level of scary, because you're taking that evil being. That's my problem is the delivery of the Dalek. The essence of it is an amazing villain. I mean, they're pure evil. They're pure evil. But when we get them, they're pure evil in like a cardboard box. Like they don't scare me because they have no technology.
Just going back to, was it the first time we saw the Daleks in the new with Eccleston? It wasn't it like, am I remembering right, that Rose and a security guard start going up like the security steps, and they're like, "Oh no, it can't go up the steps because it's just rolling. We're fine now."
Right.
Yeah.
And then I mean, it's stuff like that it's like, and he even called him a tricycle on.
Yeah, I mean, he calls
episode,
it out.
I mean,
and I think that's why the human thing, they know that they have to upgrade it, and that's why that's why they're doing it. But I'll tell you, the Daleks are something to be feared, and you get that from the very first moment Christopher Eccleston saw them, because it was just like he delivered a performance of sheer terror that you hadn't seen the Doctor. The Doctor always cool, calm, collected, can handle anything,
right? And
the Dalek freaked him out. Now, Kyle, you're a fan of the Daleks. Why do you like the Daleks so much?
It's just, they've not really changed the Daleks since they were first introduced back in the original version of the show.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, this episode showed that, really.
There's just something so goofy. But to me, it just still works. There's just something about exterminate. That's just, I don't know, it's goofy enough that it still works today. I love it. I love the Daleks. And going back on your point, you need to remember when Christopher Eccleston first saw that Dalek, he actually picked up a gun. The Doctor was going to use a gun to kill the Dalek. So these are serious guys, and I'm excited that they're back.
I think at the end of this, we're going to see an entirely different. I think the Daleks are going to tie in again, and I don't know if I want to dance the line of spoilerish. We've seen previews that had the Wild West episode in it, and it looked like a Dalek was in that one. Am I wrong about that?
Looking guy.
Here's the thing: I don't know what to believe, because I would have swore to you that we saw a preview for this episode where the Parliament of Daleks was all melted. I would have swore I saw that picture in my head. I know I did.
The
but I don't
way
know where it
they
went.
presented it, yeah.
Yeah. I really thought he had murdered them all at some point.
You like my sexy pose with the Sonic? For the plan for the camera?
I'm gonna let you know it ain't that sexy.
No, well.
It ain't that kind of show, buddy. It ain't that kind of show.
Hey, it's after dark. I'm in the light.
It is after dark. It is Police Box Paradox after dark.
I forgot. I lost my train of thought now.
Okay, Daleks.
No. I know what I was going to say real quick. When you were bringing up the Western episode, and I don't think that's spoilers because they've shown that in the trailers.
The clips are all out there.
Originally, months ago, Moffat came. I'm talking with my hands with the Sonic. Good for podcasting. Months ago, Moffat said that none of these episodes were connected. There wasn't like 2 parts or 3 parts or. Did we lose Wes?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. The audio went crazy on me, but he said there was no. They were all standalone episodes, and now you've seen the new. You've seen the new companion, and I think I'll ask you and what you think. When they first come up to the Parliament I'm putting that down. When they first come out. And the doctor thinks he's getting ready to be taken out. He looks at Amy and says, "Make them remember you."
Right.
Do you think that's gonna? That just seemed like that. It was a throwaway line in the fact that they didn't say anything else about it. But at the same time, it almost seems like there's something there with it.
I didn't know if this would be what we got to at the end to kind of tie it all together, or we would do it now. But
fine, we can do that.
No, the big I won't say it's the twist, but the big event that happens going out of the episode is the Doctor had all history of himself removed from all of Dalek. So no Dalek remembers him in any way or any of the past battles, anything that's happened, the Time War, nothing.
And we find another reason to say the title of the show 15 times, which that's getting on my nerves.
But here's the thing. You can't... Never does the Doctor say something like, make them remember you, without it playing into a story in some way, shape, or form. It's got to be important. And I actually expected whenever Oswin had mentioned the fact of erasing it, I was expecting him to go, no, I need them to remember me. But he was all for being forgotten, which was weird for me. So I think that's going to play in big in the end. That's why I think that there's a bigger overarching story. I think there's more than one going on the way they're playing. Oh, yeah.
There could be.
Yeah, without question. I think we're going to have a few different story arcs. Now, I want to get to this, because we didn't talk about Pond Life on the last one. I don't know if all of them were out yet.
Oh, no, we just did. There was just 1 or 2, yeah.
We watched them real quick before we watched the episode tonight, because it's like 5.5 minutes of footage. And the first 4, hilarious and all that. Going in, I'm not going to lie. When I watched the Pond Life that showed Rory leaving, that messed me up. I was teary-eyed.
It teary-eyed me, and like I put on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it, I said that one reason that I like Matt Smith so much is that shot of him standing outside the door with the umbrella. Mm-hmm. He's ringing the doorbell, and you can just see just the slight changes in his face where it hits him that, one, he's not getting to see him, and then it's like, okay, there's something not right.
And he got it. Now, I thought there was going to be Rocky Road of some kind, but we opened the episode up. They're getting divorced. Papers are getting signed. Now,
it blew my mind when Amy said, "I don't have a husband with that kind of." Yeah, I've seen that look in a woman's eyes before. I know that look.
Dude, I didn't need that in my life. I didn't need to see Amy and Rory. I love the Ponds, and the Ponds
shocked me.
And I knew. Now they gave you subtle hints that Amy definitely still cared, because when they were falling down the
she freaked out when he
went by. She was like, "Rory," and you wouldn't do that.
And she tried to get his attention when he stormed out after he made that snarky remark about her pouting for the camera and everything.
Yeah, he was very hurt by what was going on, and I mean, and we kind of get a conclusion of it, and it looks obviously like everything's going to be fine moving forward.
Now, you think there's going to be more to that or not?
I don't. I think that I mean
the whole not being able to have a child and her bringing back up the the prison and everything from last season.
It's possible. See, we watched tonight before we watched it because we were waiting for everybody to get here so we watched Good Man Goes to War, and we watched the Series 6 finale beforehand, and River has to play in. I mean, I'll tell you this, in the finale, River and Amy playing back and forth as mother and daughter is fun. It really is. I would like to have that in a good long episode or two, but I don't think we're going to get it. It worries me that if we're playing with, they have the ability to have a child or can have a child, and then we're going to lose them. I don't know where we're going to go with that. I don't need it making me sad. It's going to make me sad enough. Don't make it any worse. It's there. We just don't need any of that. We need something we can hold our hat on, and it worry. I don't know. That we'll get to that later on another show because I can't emotionally deal with Amy and Rory leaving right now. That episode's going to be bad. We have to record that a week after it happens. So I'm trying to think of other stuff we want to go into the episode. Overall, I really liked the episode. I thought it was paced well. It didn't seem long. Like when it was over, I was like, "Man, this is done. We need 30 more minutes." No, you're done. Okay, it moves so quickly, and we had I'm trying to think the dead people. That was pretty cool. That came back to life and they were still.
It was almost kind of a callback to the
Silence in the Library. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's a good look. It's like the Vashon Narada, but with hoodies. Yeah, and they were coming. The Dalek overall was smart. I think it's scary that there was a planet somewhere where there were Daleks that were too evil for the Daleks.
That were too evil and crazy. Yeah.
It almost. I'm sad that it's gone because that could have been a whole season in itself of trying to stop that from happening. But yeah, that was. I dug that. Oh, overall, I'm trying to think of other things that happened in the episode that we need to touch on.
Did you all notice there was really a lack of comedy in this episode compared to recent Doctor Who episodes?
There wasn't a lot of comedy at all, really. I think you get a smirk at Amy modeling.
And the girl that's going to play the new companion really was more of the lighthearted aspect of it towards the end, until you knew the truth about it at the end. So
until we cut to her, and then the end, of course, Rory when he did his dance and she said, "I could see you." That was that was a good closer because after you have a lot of emotion like that, it's good to close out with a, just something, to kind of make you laugh as you go out. Yeah, I'm hoping we still get some humor because Amy is very funny. She's not exactly funny as much as she's a good straight to the Doctor. Like he can be funny off of her, and it really works well. And her jumping back and forth. So I'm hoping we get some more of that because I like the lightheartedness of the show. I like when it gets serious, but I think you can do it both ways. But when you look back, probably my favorite episodes are all darker episodes and. When you look at your Blinks and your Silence in the Libraries, those are a little more devoid of humor than some of the other episodes and a little more passionate. But yeah, we did. We've done Asylum of the Daleks, and I'm going to say it was a great way to start the season. Now, last season we started out with I mean, come on, it's hard to top that. The Silence. That's the way you start the year out. So we've got basically the way this is going to work. We're going to have 4 more episodes and then the break until the Christmas episode.
Till the Christmas episode, yeah.
So basically, we've got this girl, and we're probably not going to see her again, and then we'll get her back in the Christmas episode.
I don't know about that because after the UK airing, like her and Moffat both posted on BBC or something that said thanks for everybody, not spoiling it, not saying stuff. And then it was just keep your eyes peeled for here or suggesting that, there might be another...
Like he's going to sneak her in?
There might... And I can see it being that way. I could see it almost being a whole... He has to choose between... He runs into her, finds out who she is, and he has to choose between saving her or letting her go and erase the Dalek's memory. Because, they like to do the whole... Moffat likes to do those whole paradoxes to where it's kind of like an Amy's Choice type thing, but...
Yeah, so... I just got to thinking, he gave us Donna in a Christmas episode a whole season before we got her as the companion.
Yeah.
So they like to throw that stuff out there. Moffat, you're a genius, sir. You're really a genius. And I'm not just saying that to try to get you to come on our show later on, but if you want to, we'll accept it. You can come hang out anytime.
Speaking of, have you got to watch the Nerdist Bowling?
I did. Wow. Wow, the Doctor can do a lot of things, but bowling is not one of them. Whereas Amy, on the other hand, is a savant. She doesn't know anything about the game, but is amazing at it.
That was hilarious.
I'm a big fan of the Nurse Bowling series.
Yeah,
overall, it's just funny. And I knew they did the Doctor Who, and I was waiting, and we got it. I didn't. Was there a Nerdist special this weekend too, or was that?
I don't know.
It seemed like they were doing a lot of stuff around.
If
Doctor
there
Who
was,
launch.
it's on my DVR. So
yeah, I'll have to go back and look. I don't. Does anybody have anything from the episode they want to bring up in particular and go over? No.
I'll ask this: did you all? I'm keeping my eye out because they've made references that they're changing the interior of the TARDIS some. Do you think it looked any different this time?
I didn't, and I looked at it more from the aspect that I felt that maybe it would regenerate at some point.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I didn't think it seemed like
that. We'll get into that more because I think that might be it. And there's a point to where that might happen. But I'll talk about that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to spoil anything.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
I do think we shot the TARDIS from a different angle this time. Like it was a higher up.
It was a higher, yes, and it wasn't. The angle wasn't so much him coming from the door. It was coming from a different angle. It was like the back angle or something, wasn't it? Because typically he's coming from the door up the stairs, and that wasn't it.
Yeah, and because they did the same thing in one or two of the Pawn Life. It's shot just you're on a different side. You're just a little off what you're used to, and I think that I mean, if they want to change it, that's fine. I love the new TARDIS look. I thought they opened it up. Maybe they'll do more. Maybe they'll make it bigger on the inside because it's already pretty big on the inside.
I was unaware of the changing of the TARDIS, but when I was watching
it's a room
Live, okay, the colors seemed to look a little bit more vibrant. I don't know if that made any difference.
That was kind of me. I didn't know if it was the angle with the lighting and everything. It just seemed a little. Yeah,
I'm not sure that's not. I'm not sure that's not just the show because they're doing a lot of different things with color. Like I mean, they're
changing
open,
the feel, the look, and I mean. The white, bright rooms that they're held in, and
yeah. There's it feels like it's being shot a little differently. I don't necessarily think before, like if you go back to Eccleston, if you go to Eccleston to Tennant's first couple of years, each season you can watch more money get pumped into the show. It just looks more expensive as you go, and then when you get to I want to say Tennant's second season. You can actually see almost episode by episode more money come in.
Yeah.
And then finally, once we got to Matt Smith, it's gotten a little better, but not much. Because when Matt Smith came along, they were like, look, we need to go all in. And they dumped some cash in. And it's really looked really good from then on. The astronaut episode, I think, is cinematically just beautiful. It looks expensive. They put a lot behind it. It's a solid look.
Well, they've got the money because it's gotten so big over here now.
Exactly.
I mean, he was on Entertainment Weekly, which was like a huge deal because nobody from BBC or Britain or Over the Seas or anything had been featured on the cover, like that in comparison. And then other websites that aren't even entertainment websites like Mashable and other stuff are actually covering Doctor Who right now because it's such a big draw.
So we've got 4 more episodes. I don't feel we have a long-term story as of right now. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen because I remember season 3, Tennant's second season. I remember towards probably most of the last third going, are we not going to have like a main story going here? Are we not going to have an overarching story? And then all of a sudden, I realized we had an overarching story. They were just not telling me about it. It happened like it. I was watching all these, what I thought were Monster of the Week episodes, and then all of a sudden, boom, the watch opens up, it all breaks loose, and I don't know what's happening anymore. And I feel that's probably what we're going to do. I think there's going to be a slow burn that we're not going to see, and then we're going to get to Angels in Manhattan, and boom, pawns are gone, and we're all sitting in tears wishing that we had went with them.
And going back and looking at certain aspects.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go back and read your article that's on geekasms.com/Doctor Who, that goes through and looks at the possible theories behind 11th Hour, because I think since they've said that 11th Hour has moments that play into Amy and Rory's finality, I want to see that. I want to see if I can figure that out. I want to see, or at least know when it happens, I can look back and go, oh, that's what it was. Well, I don't really
back on it again.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot left we can talk about this episode. And again, I don't want to get into spoilers and stuff. And hopefully, since this is our first real episode discussing, an episode that just happened, hopefully we can start to get a little more feedback. You can check us out on Twitter at PoliceBXParadox. That's at PoliceBXParadox. And you can go to geekasms.com/Doctor Who. We're broadcasting right now at tphpod.net. We submitted to Stitcher, so you may be listening to this on Stitcher shortly or currently. Regardless, we'd love it if you go to iTunes and give us a rating, 5 stars. If you're going to 1 star, maybe don't go rate it. But if you're going to give us a good review, please go do that. Rate and review, that would help us a lot in bringing in advertising, because right now we don't have any advertisers and we'd like to have some. And if we can get our viewership up in these next few episodes, then we will definitely keep going maybe in the off season, because as we started, it was more of a, we're going to go as episodes come out, we'll do shows. But if we can get a few more listeners here and make it a little more worth their while, we'll be glad to keep going. So I guess for Kyle, for Michael, I'm Wes, and until next time, just keep regenerating. See you.